everybody, Noreen here. Thanks for joining me today on my channel. Today I've got the April 123 sketch and layout for you, and I'm using the brand new collection from Creative Memories called Storytime. Now this is a great collection aimed at baby layouts, but it's got a bit of a twist in that you can use it for boy and girl layouts, and as well there's lots of icons and imageries that you can use for not just baby layouts, but for toddler and childhood layouts as well. So it's really, really versatile. So I'm going to be using some of the stickers. Let me show you those. We've got some great icons and words. And then there's actually a second sticker pack full of great borders. So we're going to be using some of those. There is also a package of embellishments, and you can see that in the colors, there's not a separate pack for boys and girls, but again, all of the embellishments that you could ever want are right here in this little pack. And I'll probably be using some of the variety mat cards as well. A lot of these are open for journaling or for matting your photos, but some of them have great sayings on it for your titles, and as well there's some that you can fill out with information about baby to add to baby's book. So again, a really versatile and useful collection, not only for baby, but for kids and toddlers too. The colors are wonderful as well. I love this combination of the navy, aqua, kind of blush colors, and then the chartreuse green. And we've got some nice florals as well as a great sort of, almost looks like a bookshelf with a whole bunch of toys and things on it. And then some overall patterns like the back of a baby's blanket, some small flowers, that kind of thing, some geometrics. So again, I'm really, really enjoying this collection, and I think you're going to get a lot of use from it. There's some cute ABCs. Again, lots of beautiful florals, tiny geometrics, a nice vine pattern. And then this is actually the one that I'm going to use. It features a lattice pattern or trellis pattern in the blush color on one side, and then a really nice neutral dot pattern, kind of a fun dots. And again, I think this is going to work perfectly for some photos of my baby when he was, you know, toddler age. But again, it's going to look great with little girl photos as well. All right, so let's have a look at this month's sketch. I love these sort of chevron diagonals, very much on trend right now with what you see in the scrapbooking industry. And this is going to actually be easy to make even still with our 1, 2, 3 format. So again, for those of you who are not too sure about 1, 2, 3s, we take one piece of double-sided pattern paper, 2 pieces of cardstock or album pages if you're a CM scrapbooker for your base, and then we make the whole thing with 3 cuts. And for this one, to get those great diagonal cuts, first we're actually going to fold our paper from corner to corner. Then we're going to make 2 cuts through the folded paper, open it up, and then cut down the center. And we will have to use a pair of scissors or maybe a ruler and an X-Acto knife for that, just because that length probably won't fit into too many cutters. Okay, so don't worry about missing any of the information here. I always will be able to have a handout for you, and I will link the information where to go to get that free handout under the video. So I've got my new cutter, and again, as I said, you know that even the new cutter won't be long enough to go from corner to corner, okay? So we're going to have to cut that part manually. But again, let's just think about our cutting guide. So first we're going to fold it from corner to corner. Okay, and then back to our cutting guide here. Our first cut, we're actually going to put the point, so this way, this point here, to our 2-inch mark on our cutter, cut through it. We're going to set those 2 little triangles aside. Then we're going to place this straight edge that we'll have left over back at the 2-inch mark on our cutter, cut through it, set those aside, and then we'll open up our remaining paper and cut it with scissors. All right. So you're going to have to feed it in from this way, and you can see that this is our number 2, our 2-inch mark. So what I like to do when I'm cutting like this is you can certainly use the angled cut, and just line it up. Or if you prefer, you can, you know, kind of use one of these other cuts as a bit of a guideline and get it straight that way. But I like to use the angled cut. If you don't have an angled cut, just pick somewhere on your cutter that you can align it up and measure it so that it's nice and straight. All right, so we're going to cut at 2 inches. There's our first 2 little triangles. We'll set those aside. And then we're going to move this straight edge back to 2 inches. Okay, and again, I'm just using that diagonal line to line it up. Cut through, and then you can see I've got a couple of strips. Now, these strips, you know, again, they're meant to be on an angle, so it's 2 inches if you were looking at it straight to straight. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, so that's the only 2 cuts we're going to make with our trimmer. Now we're going to open this up, just lay it flat, and then we're going to take our scissors and cut through that. So I'll just go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces, and I will just let you know that you're going to have some choices here about how you place your paper. So let's get our background down here. I'm just using 2 pieces of white cardstock, okay? And then let's have a look at the sketch again. All right, so our 2 little triangles are going to go down in the corners. And again, you're going to be able to choose whether you want both of them to be this side, both of them to be this side, or perhaps you want to do kind of a mirror image and have both of the patterns shown in different ways. I would like mine to be like this. And then my 2 strips, I would also like to feature the kind of the blush pattern on both of these. So you just have to do a little bit of turning. And then as you can see, my green dots are going to be the main pattern that I'm going to feature on these largest pieces. Okay, but again, so I mean, obviously you can flip those over, but you could also do something like here, sorry, try this again here. You could also do something like this where you have a mirror image of the papers and have 2 completely different looks on each side. Okay, so it's totally up to you. You get to choose however you want to place your pieces. As I said, this is the pattern that I'm looking to do. Okay, and then I'm going to be placing my photos, and this one has room for 7 photos. I've made a couple of 4x6s into 4x4s. You could use an additional 6x4 inch photo there if you liked. Okay, I've placed the title and journaling sort of in the same place there, but again, you could replace any of these photo spots with a variety mat card, and you could do your journaling on that. Okay, now I've had quite a few questions over the last little while about the size of my mats and whether I cut my mats bigger than my photos or whether I cut my photos down to size. So I'll tell you 2 reasons why I cut my photos to the size that I show on my layouts. So first of all, when I plan my layouts, I kind of use Scrapbooker's math, and I use 4, 6, 2, you know, all of those denominations to make everything fit. If I started doing 4.5 by 6.5 or 4.25 by 6.25 for these sizes, obviously it would take up a little bit more space, and sometimes my photos wouldn't fit. So for example, I can't get 3 full-size photos across a page if I'm making the mats 4.5 by 6.5. Okay, so I will always use the mats the same size as what you'll see on my sketches. The second reason is that I hate waste. Okay, one of the reasons I developed this 1, 2, 3 formula is so that there was no scraps left over from a piece of pattern paper. And I feel the same way about cardstock. This way I can cut 6 4x6 mats out of 1 piece of 12 by 12 inch cardstock, and there's no scraps. I can cut 3 4x4s from the same kind of strip. So really, by sticking to those sizes, I make the best use of my papers, and I get the most photos onto my layouts. So then what I do is that I just trim my photos just down by about 1/4 of an inch so that they fit right onto the mat the 4x6 mat, and then there's a little bit of a border around it. Okay, I've also mentioned before that sometimes I print my photos at home and they turn out to be slightly smaller than 4x6. So this works really well for me. If you like, and if you like the look of a larger mat on a full-size 4x6 photo, by all means increase the size of your mats, and you'll have to do just a little bit of adjusting. Okay, so that was a long-winded explanation, but let's get these mats down here, my 4x6 and 4x4 mats, and I am going to be using the navy cardstock. I think that's a great sort of foil for these colors. And again, I like how the navy picks that up. And you can see that I haven't cut this one down to size yet. So again, you could have it as the 4x6 there or as a 4x4. So it's up to you. Okay, and that's pretty much the layout. I think I'm going to use some borders. What I was thinking about is adding some borders just kind of in these areas, just to kind of spice up those areas. I'm not going to add them in behind the photos, but I'm going to add some border stickers. I'm going to add a title and my journaling in here, and then I'll pop some of these fun photos of little Sammy when he was young onto the layout, and I will be sure to give you a shot of that at the end. Okay, so I do hope you take a moment to go and download the finished handout. Right now there's just kind of a placeholder there, but you'll be able to download a handout that has a picture of the finished layout, as well as all of the cutting information, the sizes, the measurements, etc. Okay, so I hope you enjoy April's layout, and I hope you join me again soon for more videos, and of course next month for another 1, 2, 3 scrapbook layout. Thanks very much for spending some time with me today. Take care. Bye-bye for now.